When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that, not for a second. He is a self-serving man. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years.
I did about an hour of that last night here on the floor, Jesse.
No one believes that, Dana. No one believes that.
The main reason no one at Fox News believes that is because the show that Jesse Waters co-hosts edited some words out of that Texas sheriff's speech.
When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that, not for a second. He is a self-serving man. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years. When Donald Trump comes down to Texas, stands next to officers in uniforms just like mine, he's not there to help us. Don't think that, not for a second. He is a self-serving man. I mean, look, just like when he killed the border bill, he just made our jobs harder. Now, Kamala, on the other hand, has been fighting border crime for years.
It's all just part of their job. Carry water for the former president, retell his lies over and over again, and omit damaging comments from people that their audience might trust. Because now the Republicans proudly revealed that he told them to kill the border bill to help him use that issue for the benefit of his campaign. They just now discovered that people don't like self-serving tactics being used at the expense of Americans. So it's time to rewrite this chapter.
Illegal immigrants.
But you just didn't like that bill. They said that you killed the bill for political reasons. Did you kill it because you wanted to do it yourself? And if you fixed the border, it would have hurt your chances of getting reelected. What do you say to that?
Brian, I didn't do anything on the bill. People would ask my opinion, but I didn't do anything on the bill. I think they respect my opinion. It was a terrible bill. But more importantly, if they want to fix the border, they don't need a bill.
I didn't kill the bill, Brian. He really, truly doesn't care that this is a well-established fact that he's blatantly lying about.
You're a real gentleman about this, and I know you're not trying to zing your colleagues, but it's your colleagues in your party, sir, who torpedoed this, who didn't get the facts right on what you just outlined was in that measure. They killed it. Ironically, not Democrats.
Right. It was, and it was painful to be able to watch it. It got stirred up in all the presidential politics, and several of my colleagues started looking for ways. After President Trump said, don't fix anything during the presidential election. It's the single biggest issue during the election. Don't resolve this. We'll resolve it next year. Quite a few of my colleagues backed up, looked for a reason to be able to shoot against it, and then walked away. I get that. That's a decision everybody makes.
That's on Donald Trump, Senator.
That, again, he's got an office that he's running for. He's got a campaign that he's running. I'm already in office. I've got a responsibility to be able to carry on this. Again, he's got a task he's taken on, respectful. I've also got a task I've got to do. I've got to actually get this fixed.
That's Republican Senator James Lankford, one of the lead authors of the bill that Trump torpedoed.
In fact, I had a popular commentator 4 weeks ago that I talked to that told me flat out, before they knew any of the contents of the bill, if you try to move a bill that solves the border crisis during this presidential year, I will do whatever I can to destroy you. Because I do not want you to solve this during the presidential election. By the way, they have been faithful to their promise and have done everything they can to destroy me.
So even popular MAGA commentators joined in on the mob tactics of threatening Lankford for trying to do something about the issues at the border, something Republicans are actually trusted on more than Democrats. The audible that the MAGA campaign is now calling is to claim that the bill sucked, since they're now busted.
How do you respond to Democrats who say that they have tried unsuccessfully on Capitol Hill to pass a border security bill and that, in fact, it's been Trump and the Republicans who held it?
Yeah, ma'am, I appreciate that question. And for those of you who couldn't heard it, how do we respond to Democrats who say that they tried to pass a border security bill? My response, ma'am, is I was there in the Senate when they tried to pass that border security bill, and it had nothing to do with border security.
You know, it's odd because when President Biden detailed all the border security details in that bill, that same Republican author of the bill, James Lankford, nodded in agreement while his colleagues booed the truth.
In November, my team began serious negotiation with a bipartisan group of senators. The result was a bipartisan bill with the toughest set of border security reforms we've ever seen. Oh, you don't think so? Oh, Oh, you don't like that bill, huh? That conservatives got together and said it was a good bill? I'll be darned. That's amazing. That bipartisan bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, and new policies so they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years now. What are you against?
So does James Lankford suddenly work for Democrats? Why would he lie about a toothless bill that does nothing by the border by claiming that it's plenty? And if a hard-nosed Republican like him is lying about it, what made him peel away from his conservative beliefs? Is the Republican Party not unified? You'd have to ask all these questions to try to make some sense of this dynamic. But this whole he said can be resolved by listening to the MAGA Messiah reveal his plans himself, like Dr. Evil or somebody.
There is zero chance I will support this horrible open borders betrayal of America. It's not going to happen. I noticed that, and I'll fight it all the way. I noticed a lot of the senators are trying to say respectfully they're blaming it on me. I said, that's okay. Please blame it on me. Please. Because they were getting ready to pass a very bad bill. And I'll tell you what. A bad bill is, I'd rather have no bill than a bad bill. A bad bill you can't have, and that's what was happening in the House. Respectfully, they're blaming it on me. I said, that's okay. Please blame it on me. Please. Please blame it on me. Please.
Please, blame it on me. This might be the only guy in history that lies so brazenly. He'll tell you he's lying, then call you a liar for saying he's lying. Here are a couple more Republicans that are confused about whether or not he meant to blame him or not. I mean, you can't blame them for being confused.
Everybody who comes on this floor and says our border's broken, we should do something about it, you're absolutely right. And unfortunately, we didn't get there. President Trump opposed a Senate bill. We couldn't find a better way forward that would get 60 votes. I hate that.
Why can't you actually move the needle on securing the border? I understand you need a willing partner on the other side, and you haven't had that. But it's frustrating to see all of these illegals coming in and the drugs flowing in, and really no movement.
The problem is the Republicans, not the Democrats. We know how the Democrats are going to vote. It's too many of my Republican colleagues are unwilling to vote to secure the border. You may remember the border bill was put on suspension, which was a cover vote last week, I think it was. That was a cover vote. That was not a meaningful vote. So, but I will tell you, Maria, the pressure that you see in Congress today from the conservative movement across the nation and in Congress is going to continue, because that's the only thing that brings results.